Hi, today is August 21st, 2022. I'm Jason Shapiro with crowdedmarketreport.com. Today I thought I would get into the concept of edge in the market. And edge is probably an underlooked but overly important thing to have. Trading is extremely difficult. Um, Trading is extremely competitive. And there's a lot of people that are involved in the markets looking at all the information that you can see. Um, and if you're not going to have some form of edge, then you are just going to end up giving money to the markets over time. So, how do you gain an edge? What is an edge? What is not an edge? Let's start with what, and again, this is all my opinion clearly, but what is not an edge? To me, I work harder than other people. That's not an edge, okay? Because you don't work harder than everybody. The market is a discounting mechanism. As we've talked about before, price of an asset is reflective of all the known information that's already out there. So saying you work harder than other people is ridiculous because you don't work harder than everybody else combined that make up the price of the asset. So that's really not an edge. I'm smarter than other people. I'm the smartest guy in the world. That's not an edge because again, you're not smarter than everybody combined, and everybody combined is what makes up the current price, and you're trying to forecast why current price is going to change. So I'm smarter than everybody, really, to me, it is not an edge. Um, there may be, let's say, in undercovered securities, let's say very small cap stocks that aren't really covered by anybody. Well, you can work hard and be smart and figure out that this company is doing great and nobody realizes it because it's undercovered. That might be an edge. And truthfully, that's probably why small cap stocks over time outperform because they're undercovered and therefore there can be an edge in researching those. So that's a possible edge there. I personally am not a small cap stock trader, so I don't know that, but I believe that could be an edge. Um, but these other things are not an edge. I'm really good at Fibonacci retracements. To me, that's not an edge because accessing Fibonacci data is very simple. And I think this is an important place to think about when you're thinking about, do I have an edge? Ask yourself, can everybody access this? Is it very accessible? Is it very cheap to assess it? And if it is, then it's probably not an edge. So you have to develop what is an edge. And how do you know? Well, first of all, your trading will tell you, so keeping a log of your trades. But on top of that, you have to be very disciplined to stick to that edge that you're using so that when you look at your P&L, you can know if the edge is working because, oh, well, this was a trade, but this was a trade that I didn't use that edge, or it didn't work. But if you keep a log, you can also separate those as well so that you can focus just on the ones where you think that your edge is being used and exploited. So I can't really tell people how to find an edge because everybody sort of finds their own edge. I can tell you this. People ask me, well, what's my edge? Okay. I believe my edge is the simplicity in what I'm doing. I'm basically finding people and processes that don't make money over time, that lose money over time, and I'm going opposite those. So if they're losing money over time, then I theoretically should be making money over time. So that's sort of my market edge, as simple as it is. And then I would say that my real edge is the fact that I'm very disciplined in doing this. I don't make any other trades besides the trades that fit that profile, right? And that discipline comes from time, having done non-disciplined trades and not making money on them over time and realizing that that's not what I want to do. I'm not trying to be smarter than everybody else. I'm just trying to go opposite the people that are being dumber than everybody else. And I have the discipline to do that because I've been doing it a long time and because I have that experience. That's really my edge more than anything is that. And the discipline means risk management. I have the discipline to stop out when a trade is wrong. I have a discipline to not make trades that don't fit into my edge. And that discipline / risk management becomes a big part of what is my edge. So I know this is sort of a very quick video here, but I think it's very, very important to understand what is your edge, and is that edge working? Is it right? Because that's the only way you're going to make money in a very competitive place. And I don't care if it's trading or anything else. You have to have some form of edge. Shaquille O'Neal was a great basketball player. What was his edge? Well, the guy was 7 foot whatever and now 300 whatever pounds of muscle. That's an edge in a physical endeavor like basketball, right? So again, think about what your edge is. Think about it hard. Think about if it makes sense. Think about if other people are doing the same thing, because if they are, then it's really not an edge. An example, again, today, here. This is not an edge. Well, I think that I think that there's going to be a recession. Okay, that's not an edge. Everybody at this point knows there's going to be a recession. So how does that not an edge? Now, it's not to say I'm going to get short because I think there's going to be a recession. Okay? Everybody knows a recession. Now, the recession could be a lot worse than people are currently discounting in, and that trade could work. That doesn't mean that you had an edge because you bet on recession. You just happen to get maybe lucky that, the recession ended up being worse than people thought. And that's the point. You need what they call variant perception. If your perception is the same as the marketplace, you may or may not make money over time. Markets go up and down all the time. But over time, you're not going to make money if what you're doing is just what people in the marketplace are doing. You need a variant perception to that. And a variant perception could be the recession is going to be a lot worse than people think. Okay, that's a variant perception. But what's your edge in forecasting that? Do you really have an ability to see the economy better than 8 million people that work on Wall Street and economists and all these people? And if you do, then great, right? Here's an edge. My father's a CFO of a large company, and I know what the earnings are going to be 2 days before they're announced, right? And if they're going to be vastly different than what people are expecting, that's an edge. Unfortunately, it also ends up being called insider trading, and it's illegal. So that's not an edge that I would want to use very much or at all, because where you're going to end up in the end is behind bars. And certainly that's not an edge. So outside of illegal edges, you've got to find legal edges and really think about, is this truly an edge over time, and is this something that offers variant perception to what other people are thinking? And what's the variant perception for what I do? Okay, everybody knows that a large percentage of people lose money over time, so fade a large what everybody's doing and make money, but people have a hard time doing that. By definition, they group, right? There's comfort in groups. So therefore, there's an edge to me because I have no problem going opposite what the majority of people are doing. In fact, I thrive on it. A, because it's sort of my personality, and B, because it's worked for me over time, so I believe in it. So therefore, I have no problem doing it. So that's really all I could say. Edge, find one, know it, know that it works over time, stay disciplined to it. That's how you're going to make money over time. All right, thanks. I welcome any questions or comments, and we'll talk to you again next week. Thanks.